What's up, y'all? Miss Megan Liana here, and welcome back to Be Fck'n For Real Sunday Sound Off. This is the place of unapologetic truths and unfiltered takes, and it has been a week. It has been a week. So we gonna get right into some shit, okay? Um, we gonna start light, and then we gonna pick it up. So.
Ever since I found out Harriet Tubman is not a real person, it fucked me up. I'm not gonna lie. Because her real name is Araminta Ross. And she was a spy for the United States government. And they want us to look up and idolize these people. Oh, well, they look just like me, so I must look up to them. Stop that shit immediately.
Y'all get on these apps and say absolutely anything. And then on top of saying absolutely anything, the way that I notice people go about saying anything is that it's 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 a battle of like context versus comprehension. And sometimes it be whooping some of y'all asses, and then sometimes y'all have a way of using it to your advantage. And it's kind of fucking dumb. Like, let me replay what the hell she said, because to me it's like where we've lost the plot. Let me get this shit to replay. Hold on. Cause I was watching this shit. And the worst thing about it is people, well, let's replay this shit. Come on.
Ever since I found out Harriet Tubman is not a real person, it fucked me up. I'm not gonna lie. Because her real name is Araminta Ross. And she was a spy for the United States government. And they want us to look up and idolize these people. Oh, well, they look just like me, so I must look up to them. Stop that shit immediately.
First of all, no one says to look up to Harriet Tubman, but let's unpack a couple things. So first, she went over her name, or a name change, and um people change their name all the time, right? Then she said that, oh, well, she was a spy. And it's like, yeah, she was a spy. But there were two governments at the time. The state was in a fucking civil war. There was the Northern Free Side and Southern Confederacy. So saying someone is a spy and they're a part of the Underground Railroad, of course they're a spy on some level. But what gets me, and this is like what drives me crazy about TikTok, and when they talk about like brain rot and all that other shit, is because it's like two things can be true, but it's really like how you say it. And you see it all the time in the comments. Like, and the fact that people were even in the comments, like, I knew it, da 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 da. Like, that's just like there was this girl um on TikTok this week, and she said like Black Americans were settlers, United States settlers. And but that was said because because Black people who claim being indigenous to the country. And like, it's one of those things where there were Native American tribes that they were of African American descent. Like, there are Black American indigenous tribes. And but again, it's just tonality and the way people are able to just change what the fuck they say to make it sound a certain way to get clicks or likes or whatever. just to turn around and then make an apology video about it. That's what kills me. Like, she dead ass then had to make an apology video saying like, oh, this video is going viral, da 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 da. I didn't mean for it to take off. Some dumb shit. And it just begins to be fucking draining. Like, the amount of energy that people, like, this is why sometimes I be hoping that they do take TikTok off. For one, I spend too much time on TikTok. And then TikTok is really like its own little bubble, which is this shit not live? Hold on. Oh, okay. We live. We live. We got it going. All right, cool. I was making sure there was a live stream because the tech issues be tech issuing, but it's all good. So yeah, like, it kills me how people are able to just go on this app, say whatever the fuck they want, just to turn back around and be like, "Oh, my bad. I didn't mean any disrespect." And it's like, "Yes, you did. Yes, you did." And I wish sometimes people would like own it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather you own your wrong ass opinion than um cave when the backlash hits. Like, own that shit. Like, that's one thing about me. 9 times out of 10, if I say something, I've thought about it a few times before I say it, just because I don't like apologizing. I genuinely don't like, if I say something and like, if I really like fuck up or something like that, then okay, cool. Like, I'll backtrack. But I genuinely don't like having to apologize. So I think before I speak and I watch what I say, especially on an online platform, because you don't want to go like backtrack on your shit and then apologize. Like, cause then that means you probably were just doing it for the clickbait. Another person that I genuinely wish sometimes would, think before they speak or just not always go for the shock treatment is this guy right here. Oh, wait, no, right here. Yeah, wait, am I going the right way? Bam, there we go. Right here. Cameron, him. So this week, he was interviewing the Punisher, who is one of the escorts that Cassie slept with, and he asked him this.
Yeah, I ain't knocking you, my nigga. How was that pussy though?
I mean, bro, even if it was fire,
Bro, was the pussy good, family? Let's stop with political shit. We was Harlem time, my nigga. You 39th Street on 40th. Was the pussy? How was that pussy, my nigga?
bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like, I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals, my spider senses is wilding. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's so distasteful. And not even like, the thing with Cameron is he's always been kind of obnoxious, right? Like, he's just that kind of person that just, some people just like being obnoxious, and it works for them, right? Like, we all know those people where it's like, they're going to say the dumbest shit, that before you take them somewhere out in public, you got to tell them like, "Oh, don't do this, don't do that." Like, but that shit is so draining. It's like, it gets to a point where it's like, it's, grow the fuck up. Like, why do you care how Cassie's sex is? Like, the fact that you would even ask an escort that is top-notch insane. But it's not like, because again, Cameron to me, like, he's a caricature. Like, it's very caricature. I think he's great at talking about sports. Some of his freestyles on the It Is What It Is show be fire. Like, I'll give him that. But it's like there's always this need to just be extra. And this clip reminded me of when he was on CNN speaking about the Diddy case.
Did you recognize that kind of anger at all from your experiences?
I don't know him like that. What do you mean, do I be recognized? Did I recognize him? I seen him. What do you mean my experiences? I seen him and I thought it was disgusting. I didn't do a zoom in to see if it was really him or nothing, but he admitted it was him. So
I mean, is there something known in the industry about how Diddy treated his artists?
Sorry, I'm going to get some cheeks after this horsepower joint.
Obnoxious.
What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that y'all invited me to. Who booked me for this joint?
All right.
Wow, and I don't be sitting
Cameron,
around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah,
thanks.
Man, come on, man.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me. You enjoy.
The desire to be so uncouth and just ignorant is like, it's outlandish. I don't know. I think I'm one of those people where it's like, you can have an opinion, you can be extra. Like, there are, like, I have a big personality. Like, I know, like, my personality, there are some people that I genuinely I get on their fucking nerves because I have a big personality. But I'm not obnoxious. Like, I'm never rude. And when people go out of their way to just be like rude and uncouth for like no reason except to have this persona, like, it's pointless. Like, I don't understand why. And again, I think it works for his show. Like, I think it works for the It Is What It Is podcast. Again, I think he's great at talking about sports. Like, I think that's his bag. That's his shit. But it's like, why go on CNN and ask questions and get upset because you're being asked questions about Diddy, just to turn around when it's time for the trial and you're gonna not only have to talk about Diddy, but on top of that, you're gonna interview one of the escorts from the Diddy case just to ask him how the pussy was of Cassie. Like, at some point, we need to take the mic from some of these niggas. It is what it is, okay? I like how I did that. So this week, producer Timbaland made a huge. He's upending the music industry. And so this is a picture of his AI artist, Tata. Now, he has a new AI record label. And with that AI record label, he's creating a new genre called A-pop. Now, the way this AI simulator works is that he's partnered with this software program, Sono. And so basically what it does is he puts like demos into the AI program and then it expands on it. Like the same way you put prompts into ChatGPT or DeepSeek and it gives you the answer that you want and all that good stuff. Like, that's pretty much what he's doing, but on a music level. Now, for one, Timbaland has been a producer fucking like, I mean, I was a kid. So this is like decades, right? And, you know, he was the producer that really helped, you know, him and Missy really helped revive Aaliyah's career. Um, he was in, I'll never forget when Are You That Somebody came out, and we heard that baby giggling in the background. And it was like, this dude done sampled a baby. Like, Timbaland is a part of a sound like from the 90s. Like, he defined a genre. And to become like this AI producer, for one, it's lazy as fuck. But two, it really seems like more he's just hit a creative block, because as a producer, like, has he had hits recently? Like, no. And I could be wrong, but I'm saying, like, I can't really think off top any number one singles that have been produced by Timbaland. And I don't think he probably hasn't had that magic that he's used to. But so here's the issue with the whole AI thing, right? One part of the problem that people have been like on his head about is he spent months running a contest looking for new artists to be a part of his this EP that's coming out. He was looking for 5 artists. He started that contest in January. And then he's been on live stream on TikTok just doing this thing where it's like, submit your music for my feedback, which a lot of artists, of course, are going to do it because it's Timbaland. And who wouldn't want the feedback of like a major fucking producer? But when you understand how AI works, right? Like, and let me be clear. I'm not anti AI at all. Like, me and Chat GPT is locked the fuck in, okay? Like, I'm an accountant. There are a lot of operational tasks, workflows, all that shit. Like, even when I need to brainstorm, when I need to research, like, I use Chat GPT like I used to use Google. I use Chat GPT to sort my thoughts. Do I use it to think or create for me? No. But I'm not anti-AI because I understand that how it is impacting the corporate world, right? But for one, when you understand like AI is built off of examples and prompts. And so when you understand that the app or the software that he's using receives just a demo and builds off the demo that is being fed into it, the probability that he was using these lives and these artist submissions to build up this AI model is extremely high, which is extremely unethical. Like, to take people's creativity and use their creativity to create your AI model that you'll be using for your AI record label and for your AI artist. That's a new level of low, even for some music industry shit. And like, he doesn't have a good track record with artists. Like, he dropped the ball with Tink to where she was shelved and had to go independent, and he wanted her to be kind of like an Aaliyah replacement. And he's done a lot of suspect shit. Like, I personally stopped liking Timbaland when after Nipsey Hussle passed away, and he created a beat for Nipsey Hussle and was like, I'm gonna call this like ghetto gospel or some shit like that. But it's like, you chose to create a song with and for Nipsey Hussle after he passed away instead of working with him when he was alive. That was when I first looked at him sideways. The second I really started looking at him weird was when when they signed Versus contract to be distributed with Elon Musk and X. Like, and they signed that deal like in January, and it's like or it might have been late last year. I don't remember, but it was when people knew Elon was not the person to be fucking with, and they still signed with them. Versus still has not come back yet, but hey, but it's very suspect. And the thing about AI, like, to me, and like, AI should not be used for creation. Like, and when I say creation, like any form of art, music, writing a fucking like writing a book, writing a song, compositions, like anything that is like creation, to me, like when you create, you're like that's like a channel of God. Like, humans, we're able to create art, and I feel like that is a God channeled gift. In that moment of creation, you have tapped into a part of your brain, and I feel like that brain is a manifestation of your connection to God. And no computer, no AI model can replace that. And no computer can make the music or produce the music that an artist would. It's literally creating its model based off of human creations. And the weirdest shit that Timbaland said about this, it stuck out to me, because he's basically saying, I believe it's the entity that embodies a genuine soul right now. It allows for the expression of true feelings, resulting in it coming out beautiful. Except AI has no soul. It's a robot. It's technology. And to say that an AI model is a genuine being, I just feel like he's too far gone in this shit. And the only reason, like, if we're looking at it from, like, because he's at the point where he's, capitalist level, right? And Timbaland, I don't recall him, having a record label that had, I don't know. Like, I remember he was like, but when there was like Rough Riders, when there was Def Jam, when there was Rockefeller, like even when Bad Boy was popping, like when there were these black record labels, like he didn't have that record label. So he didn't have the ventures and the things that put him to like high level billionaire status, right? Like to where a Jay-Z is right now. And I feel like because he kind of missed that boat then, he's trying to like capitalize on something now. But I also think the problem with this is like where the music industry is going. And I blame like these fucking popcorn TikTok artists, that if they have like everything with the music industry is so everything with the music industry is so viral, trending focused, that it's taken away from the art. And I also think that when it comes to artists, a lot of the artists now are like a commodity, like a liability, you know what I mean, versus an asset. When you look at, even if you look at hip hop, right? Like, how many rappers now have been killed within the last 3 years. How many artists and killed, whether it's gang violence, killed whether it's from gang violence to drug overdoses. How many rappers have reached their peak and then went to jail for high crimes like murder, larceny, like all this shit. So the music industry is losing a lot of money. And part of the reason they're losing a lot of money is because the artists they're investing in aren't really artists, and they don't want to, there's no artist development anymore. So this is like a lazy way to fix the problem in music. The only thing is that it's gonna suck. Like when you hear AI music, like you can like some artists have used AI. Kanye West is one, and you can tell because whenever you hear it, it fucking sucks. Like there's a lot of music that when it's made by AI because it doesn't have that human touch, it fucking sucks. But I feel that even when there are AI artists, I feel like the music industry is still going to push it out so much that it will become acceptable. Like people are mad right now because they know this artist is AI. But excuse me, that doesn't mean that they won't put another artist out that's AI and then tell you later on it's AI. Like, and then make it a trending song, make it pop, put it everywhere on the fucking algorithm from TikTok to Instagram, all that shit. Like, they know how to push the buttons to push stuff in the algorithm to make it trend. So, are people pissed about it? Yes. Does that mean things are going to change? No, I think we're going to see a lot more AI artists, but hey, we shall see. In Diddy Daddle news, okay, this case is interesting, right? And the thing that I have realized with this Diddy trial is that people who are anonymous or supposed to be, you know, a Jane Doe, everybody's figuring out who they are. And so the Jane Doe this week is allegedly Daphne Joy, 50 Cent's baby mama. I'm using the sketch picture because I do want to, whoever it is, they don't want to be known. So even though we may know who it is, I'm just gonna, you know, respect her privacy. Now, here's the thing, right? What's crazy to me, and I'm getting my phone because these fucking quotes are crazy. The one thing that has stuck out to me from testimony with Jane Doe and testimony from his assistant is the things people will put up with for money. And it's not even a lot of money. Like the assistant said that, now mind you, she was kidnapped, she was threatened, she was beat. She went through all of that, even said that she would get on a good night 3 hours of sleep or some shit like that, and her salary was $50,000. $50,000. You can work at a call center. There are so many 9-to-5 jobs that you can work for $50,000 and not deal with that shit. Jane Doe. They had a love contract. Her love contract, she is getting her rent paid at a rate of $10,000 a month for 2 years. Before that, before they got into that contract, she went on a 9-day vacation with him. And in those 9 days, because she could not do her Instagram post because she was an influencer and she needed to, post to make her money. Because she couldn't do that, like he paid her $10,000 for 9 days. And I get, okay, like I'm an accounting manager, so I'm in finance. And I have gotten very far with only an associate's degree. And I have friends that are director. Like, I work with high level people in corporate, right? And to hear that they're getting our salary and putting up with all of that. And it's like, if you're an influencer, you have the ability to reinvest, get a job, influence some shit. Like it doesn't, the math ain't mathing, okay? And there was like, I was reading these details and I was shocked, right? Because one thing that happened basically with Jane Doe, she had one hotel night, which is a freak off. She did it once and it opened a Pandora's box. And so she always had to do drugs and she always had to sleep with like 2-3 men. One the thing one encounter, she cried to him because she didn't want to do it. And he said, "Don't do that right now. I can't do this right now. I'm too high." Another thing that happened was one time she tried to remain sober after sleeping with 2 men. 2 men in a row. She went to the bathroom, threw up because of how she felt. And then he says, "That's good. You'll feel better now that you've thrown up. So let's go." And then she had to sleep with a third man. And she said she did that because she, and I'm not laughing at her, I'm laughing at the mindset. She said that because she would hope that afterwards she would get to spend time with him. And then she got really upset because for her birthday, she had to sleep with 3 men for her birthday. And the next day, he went to Turks and Caicos with somebody who was most likely Carisha. And like, he even, when she tried to confront him about it, this is a voice note that he left her.
Hey, I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not going to be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know. You think you silent treating me, and you think I'm gonna be nah. You'll have a rude awakening. You'll just have silence, and ain't nobody threatening you. And I ain't trying to go back and forth with no woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I ain't got no time for no motherfucking games. Where my life is at right now, I don't have no time for no games, baby girl. Me and you could be mad. I could have a spat. We could have whatever. Then after that, you better get on your job. That's really that's all it is. Cause you got me on my job. Nah, it ain't never gonna work like that over here. You know what I'm saying? I was trying not to leave this message, but you have left me no choice. So either you go in the direction of like moving on and shit like that, or you like just like have me just keep moving. Ain't no threat.
Okay. When he says on your job, like, it's weird because it's giving pimp. it's giving pimp, it's giving trafficking. Like it does. He sounds like a pimp. But the crazy thing is that he's not, it's like he's not taking, it's not the average pimp relationship, right? Because normally between the pimp and the hoe, she has her job, she gives him the money. Like that's the pimp hoe relationship, summarized. But they're not giving him their money, but in a sense, he's still using money to control them. And the thing is that she had texted how she was jealous of Young Miami, right? But what's crazy to me is that people like, I personally think Young Miami, like I think she was, doing her shit too. The signs are there. The white nail polish. Like he gave her Carisha Please on Revolt. Never forget, she went on that show and said she likes golden showers. When you hear the situation Cassie was in, like you can't tell me that she wasn't doing some of that shit too, but I think she was just more willing. And it'll be interesting to see if somehow Young Miami does end up on the stand. I don't think that he beat her though, because Diddy has, when you look at the women that have come out to like say he beat them, they have a certain aesthetic. Like Cassie, Daphne Joy, and Gina, the three women, and we know how bad he beat like Cassie and Gina. Daphne, she's not talking about any violence, but the sexual abuse. And I just feel like if this was Law and Order SVU, we would have figured out by now, or sometime at some point, his fetish for abusing Blasian women would come out, because his victims have a certain aesthetic. And again, there's more details to come out. This is, the beginning of the case. So, or it's been what, like 8 weeks, 6 weeks or some shit like that. I don't know. But I think that as more stuff comes out, it's like they're proving he's a horrible person. like I said last week, the stuff for the RICO case is being proven. Like that voice note that he left her, that's as clear as day. Like that sounds, when he says, "You on your job, I'm on my job, are you on yours?" Like that whole little exchange right there, that's force. It sounds like he's forcing her to sleep with men. And I want to go back to like the finance side of it. Like this is why young girls, one, should not idolize the bad bitches, right? Like the way that they do, because all that glitter ain't gold. And you see what these women are portraying. Like they have the bags, they have this, they have that, and they got to sleep with 3 men a night for it. And they have to sleep with so many, like it's crazy, because I am pro feminist, right? So I have the utmost respect for sex workers. I have the utmost respect for a real hoe gonna say she a hoe. And a real hoe ain't ashamed to be a hoe. That's just it. It's this shit that kind of makes me side eye, because the portrayal of the glam to make it seem like you're with this person, or to want to be with this person so bad, you'll do all this shit for $10K a month or $50,000 a year, or somebody dangling, like it doesn't make sense to me. And I hope, like, the more the financial details come out, I hope that young girls really are able to do the math and understand, like, you don't have to get peed on and have freak offs to make the amount of money that these women are getting. Like, you could get a job, you could start a business. Like, I've seen so many different type of businesses created based off just the strength of having an idea and funding it and doing the ads. The thing is, like, these women have the money and the access to the resources. And so I don't mean to, like, judge, and I'm not like a slut shamer, but it's just when I hear the amount of money, the small amount of money that these women are getting for this shit, y'all could just get a job. You could get a certification and make that shit. You could own a business and make that shit in a day. And again, this is not knocking any sex worker, because again, I have the utmost respect for sex workers, all forms of sex work. Like, I don't knock it, but this shit right here, like, we gotta do better. Not we, I'm doing better because I ain't in that type of shit, but yeah. It's not good, all right? It is not good. On to the next. Every time something happens, there's always something happening in politics. There's always something, like, with this current administration, it's always a shit show. And this last week, even right now, but this last week, like, it just, I'm always kind of, like, thoroughly disgusted with the shit that goes on in politics. So first we have Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I, not surprised, but it came out this week that she did not read part of this the big beautiful bill that is, she didn't read the bill. And so she voted on something. She voted yes, but there's a part of the bill that she would have voted no for had she known. And it's in fucking sane to me that these are the people running our fucking country. And this is what she had to say about it.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican from Georgia. Thanks for being back with us, Congresswoman. You say in full transparency you didn't know that this was in there, and now you're shining a light on it. How did you not know that it was in there, and how'd you find out about it?
Well, we don't get the full bill text until very close to the time to vote for it.
That's a problem. Like, y'all don't get the full bill text before you vote for it. So if we're trained, like, everybody tell you don't sign shit without reading it, but y'all voting on bills that are gonna fucking change everybody, all your constituents in the American people's lives. But let her continue.
So that was one section, that was 2 pages that I didn't see. And I'm being very transparent and honest about it with everyone, but I find it so problematic that I'm willing to come forward and admit that those are 2 pages that I didn't read, because I never want to see a situation where state rights are stripped away. And that's exactly what it says in that bill text, that it would take away states' rights to regulate or make laws against AI for 10 years. And I think that's pretty terrifying. We don't know what AI is going to be capable of within 1 year. We don't know what it will be capable of in 5 years, let alone 10 years. And I think we have to protect states' rights to be able to regulate and make laws that they need to make for their states.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That is so problematic. Reading something like And this is like an 800-page bill. And so you would think that all of the debates and all of the back and forth and all of the pushing that they do for this shit, and to not, like, to say you're not good, you only didn't read like 2 pages, how much other shit got stuffed in there that they didn't read? And how often does this happen? But the AI part, I do want to touch on that, because right now there is a case where a city in Memphis is suing because Elon Musk, his AI Grok facility is poisoning this city in Tennessee. I think it's in Memphis. It's a town in Memphis. It's a small black town, and they're currently suing to regulate and stop what he is doing in that town. So the fact that they would stuff that in the bill and push it through to take the rights away from the states to regulate what is going on in their state with AI, that's suspicious as fuck. But that was like the first thing that I saw that irked the shit out of me. Then I saw this video.
Gentleman has the floor. Let him finish.
I'm the chairwoman. Thank you. Women are allowed to speak on this committee, and I ask for a point of order.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the only reason we can't take a vote is because y'all were about to lose it?
Is there a point of inquiry here? Because I didn't hear one.
That was my inquiry. Is the reason
That's
we
not a
can't take
valid
vote-
inquiry. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I have a point of inquiry, Madam Chair. I was just wondering,
sir.
Being new to this committee, what's the basis or rule on which you are overturning, not allowing the Democratic clerk to start the vote?
We have our own clerk. That's why.
Is that based on a rule, or?
It's based on the fact that you guys lost the election because of your crazy policies, and you guys don't control the chamber.
But is that in the rules?
For those of you watching at home, the Republicans are not in the room, so they're trying to find their members so that they can...
You are not recognized, Ms. Stansberry. Thank you. You can be quiet now.
Neither are any of your members because they're not in the room. Thank you.
Burn. Okay, here's the thing. It's so fucking annoying. Now, this is an oversight committee. Like, this is an oversight committee, and they wanted to get Elon Musk in there to testify about some shit with Doge, or I don't know. They always want him to come testify, and he never does. But it's embarrassing. Like, everything has to be an insult. Everything has to be a joke. And it's like, none of this shit is funny. Like, I'm laughing, but in all seriousness, these are people that are elected to run our country. Like, we want to talk about the fucking president and the bullshit he does, but I am so beyond over the lack of decorum in Congress. It's not funny. They're sitting there joking. There's like, it's just, everything is just a fucking game. And it's all about party funding and winning. They do not care about their constituents. They do not care about the people. Like, throw the whole fucking government away. We need to start from scratch, because I don't understand. And I guess because being a millennial, like, I remember when you had to conduct yourself a certain way in politics. And if you did not conduct yourself in that way, you were not allowed to be in politics, because they have a way that they're supposed to present themselves to the country, to other countries, to the people. Like, it's just, it's insane to me that this is where we're at. Like, all, and it's the Democrats too. Like here's my thing, right? I sometimes I want Democrats to fight back because I feel like they're too busy handling things an old way. They're doing things too much by the book that is being used against them, right? So I do think that they should be shaking some shit up. But the shit that they should be shaking up should be actually making progress and moving shit forward. Having, like, I don't know, just the back and forth for a hearing and the people that are head of the oversight committees, and at some point in American politics, we have to get back to taking shit seriously. So that was the second thing that made me side eye the fucking government this week. Another thing that just irked my fucking nerves was this, and then I'm gonna tell you why after.
Have you decided on your treatment options?
Yeah, we have. They're underway, and all the folks are very optimistic.
And so you've started treatment?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Would you be willing to share what exactly that entails?
Yeah, it's all a matter of taking a pill, one particular pill. And for the next 6 weeks, and then another one. The expectation is we're going to be able to beat this. It's not in any organ. It's my bones are strong. I haven't penetrated, so I'm feeling good.
Okay, so now that's Biden, and that's the first time he spoke since it was put out there he has cancer, right? Stage 4. And a couple things. Biden was on The View, I want to say maybe like a month or so ago, and he said that he knew Kamala wasn't going to win because he's the only person that could have beat Trump. And he was running for president knowing good and goddamn well he had cancer. He did not want to drop out of that race knowing he was sick. And I'm going to tell you why I really believe deep down he knew he had cancer, because he talked about taking a pill, like a chemotherapy pill. I've been around somebody who has had to take that chemo pill. And the side effects that it has on you when you take it, that's why we would see him out of it at some times. That's why he would be loopy. That's why he would be repeating himself. That's why sometimes he would just say the wrong shit. And that's why other times when we would see Biden, it'd be like, oh, it's a new Biden. He's back to his old self. He's this, he's that, because he didn't take his chemo pill at that time. So it's like he was definitely dealing with this. And it's crazy that he would actually run for president knowing he had cancer. And it's crazy that the people around him let him. And we're going to let him. And none of these people care about America. Or no, none of these people care about Americans that they're supposed to be representing. Like, it's all about ego and winning the whatever the initiative is, winning whatever election they're in, winning whatever donors they need. Like, politics are so fucked. And it's at the presidency level, but it's at every level, and it's just so fucking draining. Like, sometimes I watch the news and I watch what's going on, and I'm really thinking, like, after all of this, like, what is the norm, right? Because sometimes, like, when shit gets so crazy and it's like all over the place and all that stuff, and when it balances, it's like it'll balance back out, right? Like, it'll eventually it'll get steady. But when this shit balances out, it's like, what's going to be the new steady? Because everything, these laws that are passing right now and the shit that's happening and the way people are acting in this goddamn government, it just, it feels like this is really the new norm. And it doesn't seem like it's going to get back to what it used to be. And, you know, another thing that's been a shit show, which you would think would be a good thing, but I got mixed feelings about it. So Kilmar Abrego Garcia has finally been brought home. This was the guy that was taken to the prison in El Salvador, and it was, and when the report came out, it was said that he was taken by mistake. So that's why there was the big issue about, okay, he needs to come home. That was why the Supreme Court, it was a 9-0 ruling that he was supposed to come home. That ruling was like almost 2 months ago. Almost. And they were not going to bring him home. They were very adamant they were not going to bring him home. And after Donald Trump got into it with Elon Musk, and Elon Musk said he was in the Epstein files, the next day this guy was home. But not only was he brought home, he was brought home and he has been charged by a grand jury with smuggling migrants, drugs, and firearms for the cartel. Not only was he indicted by a grand jury in Tennessee, now he lived in Maryland. He was indicted in Tennessee. The Tennessee federal head of the criminal division for the U.S. Attorney's Office resigned the same week that these charges came. And they're not really fully saying why he resigned. But for the most part, this year, every time somebody in the U.S. Attorney's Office has resigned, it's because they don't want to do the dirty work of whatever political charge that the presidential administration is trying to push. They don't want to do it. We saw the same thing with Mayor Eric Adams, and the amount, I think it was like between 5 to 7 U.S. attorneys that resigned from their position in New York because they were not going to do what the Trump administration said and drop the bribery charges against Mayor Adams. So when we see the head of criminal division at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Tennessee resigning the same week that these charges are brought on, it's probably connected. It's suspicious as fuck. And the issue is that the administration, where they had a report where they said he was taken to El Salvador by a mistake. I do not put it past this administration, the same way they photoshopped those images of his hand tattoos to make it seem like he was a part of MS-13. I wouldn't put it past them that they would they could easily present evidence to make it appear a certain way. I would not put it past them that they would set him up like that. This also happens the same week, and it's happening right now, where the National Guard is being deployed in Los Angeles because of ICE immigration deportations that are trying to go on, and LA is standing together and they're not letting them take it. So they're protesting ICE agents, and because of that, the National Guard, the Marines, the military are being enforced in Los Angeles. And I'm not going to go too much into detail about what is happening in LA right now, because this is it's still unfolding. So anything that I say that would speak on this, it would be null and void. Probably it could be null and void in 10 minutes. Because this is like an ongoing thing. As the protests get worse and grow, the police force is getting worse and growing. And so that's why I'm not speaking too much on what's happening in LA right now, but I will say it's suspicious as fuck that the same week that our Abrego is brought home and charged for being involved with MS-13 smuggling, their huge military is being politicized. Federal military is being politicized in Los Angeles right now. And this happens the same week, like a couple days after this whole Trump and Elon Musk fight. And I was going to talk more about that, but it's so fucking minute compared to everything else going on. Like, to me, that's like a bromance breakup that we knew was going to happen. And Elon Musk was probably high as fuck and mad that he's no longer in the office. And so he just threw a little high temper tantrum. He probably did his ketamine and his ecstasy and was all in his feelings and tried to backtrack. And because of that, I think that Trump and his administration is going fucking super hard right now. And it's insane. Everything that is happening in government right now is fucking insane. What a time to be alive. Like, and I don't mean that in a good way. I wish that we could go back to the simple, to when things were simple in politics. I mean, I miss when the only controversy was when President Obama wore a beige suit. I miss those days. I don't know if we'll ever get back to that, but that was a time to be alive. Before we wrap up, I just have to share something, okay? The accuracy. All right, so I gotta share some things. All right, so if you never watched my video, the DEI dilemma, one thing that I talked about was that racism towards white people could become a thing, and that they were going to make reverse racism. They were going to try to make it a law of the land, and that they were going to bring more cases to the Supreme Court to try to make that a thing. And what happened this week? The Supreme Court made a decision to side with a straight woman because she didn't get a promotion because she was a straight white woman, and the person that got it over her was gay. I'm not saying I'm always right, but 9 times out of 10, like, if I say something, it comes to pass because I research and I know what the fuck I'm talking about, okay? So that was the first thing. And they have been trying, like, and that's the thing, slowly but surely, they are going to keep bringing cases to the Supreme Court to start to reverse civil rights and make it so that if you do not, anybody that would be a minority or something like that, if they get it over a white person, they're going to find ways to slowly but surely make it to where reverse racism is illegal, and they're going to keep doing that. I just want to say another thing I was right about. And in my video, Media Wars, I talked about how we are entering a space of state media. And state media is when the government controls what happens in media, right? And they're able, it's like they run the news basically. And again, I be knowing what I be talking about because, and I also brought up what happened with the current case with like between Donald Trump and ABC News and how they settled. So this was a tweet from Terry Morgan, who is a journalist with ABC Network. And what he said was, and I'm going to read what he said because what happens next is very important. He said, the thing about Stephen Miller is not that he is the brains behind Trumpism. Yes, he is one of the people who conceptualizes the impulses of the Trumpist movement and translates them into policy. But that's not what's interesting about Miller. Now, time out. If you don't know who Stephen Miller is, this is the guy that is pushing. He's been in the forefront of Project 2025, writing it, implementing it, all that good shit. And he's like head of the Trump administration. Now, I digress. Let me go back to this. He says, but that's not what's interesting about Miller. It's not brains, it's bile. Miller is a man who is richly endowed with the capacity for hatred. He's a world-class hater. You can see this just by looking at him because you can see that his hatreds are his spiritual nourishment. He eats his hate. Trump is a world-class hater, but his hatred only a means to an end. And that end is his own glorification. That's his spiritual nourishment. So after he posted that on Twitter, and the reason why I still call it Twitter is because fuck X and fuck Elon, okay? But so he ended up deleting that tweet, and he deleted it, and still Caroline Levitt and somebody else from the Trump administration called ABC, and ABC suspended him. But I think it's important to note who this guy is, okay? This is the guy that Trump interviewed. No, I'm sorry, not Trump interviewed. He interviewed Donald Trump on after his first 100 days. And this is how that interview went.
But even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
Yeah, that was Photoshop. So let me
That was Photoshop, Terry. You can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir. I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're
in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
We'll take a look at that.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at
Why
that,
don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested. Ukraine.
It was that moment that he knew that he became a target of Trump. It was that moment because, for one, he did not agree with him. And that's what state media is. It's retaliation against journalists that do not agree with the head of state. And this is why I say at Be Fck'n For Real, we have unapologetic truths and unfiltered takes because I know what I be talking about. Okay? And I don't just spew shit from my ass. I research and I try to, one, report responsibly, but two, make sure I could back up what the fuck I talk about. So, two things. One, go back and look at and check those videos out because, and again, that's Media Wars and the DEI Dilemma, okay? Because Miss Megaliana be on point with a little bit of accuracy. And two, make sure y'all bring y'all asses back up here next week for next Sunday at 7:30-ish for our Be Fck'n For Real Sunday Sound Off live stream. I'm Megan Liana, and it was time for us to be fucking for real, and I'm gonna see y'all next week, all right?